Okay, we're going to try this again because I forgot to turn off something. So the slower is plugged in, but these lights are really bright. I'm going to turn it off right now because I want you to hear what it sounds like because it's bypassed right now. What it sounds, that's the reason why I have this little cloth across here if you're wondering. Just the light is ridiculous and it casts this little glare. And I know you can see the mic sitting in the light here, but the idea is to keep it, focused as much as I can without messing up. So we're running into the Zoom L6 and we're using the iPad. I'm going to turn down the mixer here. The cool thing about using this Black Magic app, camera app, or whatever is I can actually see the volume of my voice coming through it. I can see the volume of where that's playing. So then I can adjust accordingly if I need to. I don't have that with the regular iPhone app. Now, mind you, this at the time of this recording, please check dates when you're watching something. If iOS 26 comes out and it's better than where we're at currently, which is what, 18 or something like that, because I think they're going from 18 to 26, then yeah, it's going to definitely be, it's definitely going to be something that I hope they add. They fix it where I don't have to use alternative cameras. I could just use the built-in camera for iPhone and record with the mic. That would be nice. But anyway, so let's get to this video. So we're just using this sound. It doesn't really matter what I play, but just for the sake of not making your ears have to hear trash, because I am playing on a screen, so it's a big difference. We're going to pull up tonality. I prefer using tonality on iOS in general. Just it's always been that way for me. Okay, hold on. There we go. I'm actually going to get rid of the piano down here because it's going to drive me crazy. And then we want chord pads to come into that. Okay. Then I'll just grab some chords from out of here. It doesn't really matter. That'll work. I'll switch the instrument at some point so that you can hear a different one. So it's not just this Rhodes or suitcase sound. But that's what it sounds like without anything. And now I'm going to use a slower. So you're going to get to see kind of what this thing can do. And to be honest, what I feel like it does is it's a reverb, but it's also a textural reverb. So it says that it's a stereo multi-texture reverb. And that's exactly what it does. Adds a lot of texture to your sound. So here's what it sounds like with it on. I think I plugged it on. Check the light. There we go. Now it's on. Just doing that so you don't have to deal with the light. Okay. So you hear the tail. Now we're on the dream setting. I'm going to put everything in the middle. Automatic, ambient, cinematic, textural vibes, right? Turn it all the way up on the mix. It becomes a pad, literally. And that's on the dream. It's very lush. Each one of these settings has the ability to be adjusted with this X and stretch knob, and I'm trying not to blind you. And they all do different things. Now this over here is just the width, so you could change the width if you don't want a wider width, or if you want it to be really narrow. I prefer in the middle and the top, so medium to wide. It creates more atmospheric space. I feel like, just for my taste, that's just where I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna just move the stretch down, let you hear what that sounds like. It's almost like slowing a tape down. That's what it feels like. I'll go all the way up. It's like speeding a tape up a little bit. The X. The X feels like, in my opinion, like a tone knob. Now, I could be very wrong. I don't have all the information in front of me to tell you exactly what it is. I'm going to reach across the camera for a second there. Now I have the information in front of me. So we are on Dream. So it's a lush reverb with a latching pad function. So the latching has to do with the sustain button. So if you're on it, you can hold sustain and it'll latch the signal. And then it tells you to experiment with the X knob, which is adding vibrato over the pad. So that's vibrato. Each time you use it on a different setting, it's going to be the X and the stretch are going to be something different. So the X adds the vibrato. It says now press sustain again, and the pad will discrindo. I never say these words right. I'm sorry. According to where the decay knob is set. So the decay knob is up here. So we'll press something. Let me press a pad on with my left hand. There it goes. Like that. It's kind of weird. I just made a weird noise too. The X knob sets the depth of the vibrato applied to the reverb. So the depth. All right, so that's Dream. Light is a bright and smooth reverb with an octave up shimmer. And then it says that, you can create a range of ethereal sounds with the X slider. Keep it low for a smooth pad like reverb, so we have it low. But then if you brighten it or put it higher, then that's what you get, a brighter shimmer. It's pretty, man. I'm talking about like anything you run through, it starts to sound good. Now I got it on full mix. This is a dry wet, so if you pull it back, you can start to hear your dry signal, right? There's your dry signal. That's halfway. Then all the way is just the wet, so you don't hear any of the dry at all. So it just depends on what you want to do. The next one is Rain. So Rain's like they call it like a tappy, trippy. It's like this unique lower level of diffusion that is on the reverb delay. It's got a little tap. Let's put this back in the center. Right there. And let's turn the mix all the way up. Let me use my hand over here. So it says that use the X control to set the amount of diffusion for the delay tap. So I hear a little delay in there, but it definitely is diffused. Okay, so light. We already talked about light. What it is. We already talked about Rain. Now we get to dark. So dark is the lower octave to your reverb tail. And obviously it's going to create a deep and wide atmospheric sound. They say channel the nightmare soundscapes. X knob sets the level of a negative one octave signal that feeds the reverb. So here's this in the middle. So it seems like when it's here, it's -1. When it goes here, you're going up. So instead of normally, I would think that'd be going down. It feels like it's moving up. And then if you go here, it gets really dark. You can almost get drone. Let's turn the depth up. Yeah, it gets real. And then the filter all the way closed. Interesting. Okay, so that is dark. I mean, it's dark. Some people, I've read that some people don't like light. That sounds funny saying that, but Some people don't like the light, but I actually think it sounds good. I think it depends on what you put it on, but it sounds pretty good to me. All right. And then the last one is the Rise, which is an auto swell reverb for cinematic swells, right? Here it goes. It's swelling in. Again, that one's pretty obvious to tell. It says let it breathe and wake up gently. The X knob sets the amount of time it takes for the reverb to swell in after a note is played. So again, let's see. That's nice and slow. Let's see. Oh, that's really slow. So to the left, it seems a lot quicker. To the right, it takes forever. I actually like that. So that's cool. Now there are presets on here. I haven't really messed with them. And just so you know that it says in here that the slider features 5 different wave shapes available by holding down bypass. So bypass is right here. If you hold down bypass and switch, then you can go either smooth where it's or warp, depending on it. Is based on these shapes that I know are hard to see because it's all black and on this pedal with the little white writing. But there's a sine, a warp, a sync, a square, and then a random. And the random uses samples and hold. It says use sample and hold that picks new random values. So that's on this bottom one. So we'll use that. Switch to the bottom one. That's really cool. I'm going to tell you now up front. So if you hold down bypass while you play something through one of them, that's what it's doing. So in other words, if I go to warp, which is, so I know that's random, that's square, rain is sync. I think warp is light, but if you hold it down, it says it's like an asymmetric pitch up modulation similar to a warp record. It may be harder to tell. Let's switch instruments. We're just going to use, oops, that's not what I want. We're going to use a pure piano, just something that's literally a piano. Okay, so now we have, all right, let's turn the mix all the way up. That sounds really cool. Let me put it in the middle, actually, see what it does. Man, that's incredible. So this, what I like about this pedal is it sounds good. Everything I put through it sounds good to me. And that's like, a lot of times you get a pedal, you only like one setting, maybe a couple settings out of it, and then the rest of it is like, I don't really care for it. So far, I haven't found hardly anything I don't like, which is kind of nice. At least if you like that ambient, cinematic, textural type vibes, it's spot on for that. I think it's excellent. It's not like your typical hall slash, room slash plate type reverb. This is more for creating textural sound, reverby sounds, if that is a word. Okay, so let's see, and then they say the sine is smooth. So let's try the sine on. And it is. It's very smooth. So that's holding down the bypass using these waves that are sine waves that are over here, or different types of waves, I should say. And there's 5 of them that you can use to play the algorithms. It says it's funny because the instructions say um, accessible by holding down bypass while switching the algorithm. So, oh, I know what they mean. So technically, you could be switching over here, the different ones, and using different ones to play whatever you're gonna do. I don't know if I'd be doing that. That's a lot of work. You literally would have to have one finger here, unless there's a. Let me see. Sorry about the light. Excuse the light. Let me see if I hold it down. Does it flash? I just saw it flash, so I wonder. So I think it's only doing it when you hold it down. Oh, let me turn it back on. Tripping. Try not to blind you with that light. I think what's gonna happen with me is I'm probably gonna end up putting a little tape over that light, just for the sake of my own eyeballs not getting torn up by it. The presets work by pressing the bypass and the sustain button, and then it puts a preset. And there's different colors, and I'm not sure if the colors pertain to which mode you're on. Haven't figured that part out yet, but it says preset slip over, and that's what's interesting is I don't see it. Just I'm reading the short little manual piece it gives you. It says when you scrolling through presets, there is only preset spillover if the next preset is the same algorithm as the one preceding it. So if your red and green presets are both in dream mode, switching from red to green will not cut your reverb tails. So in other words, I don't know if you guys can see this. So let's say I'm gonna do this here. There's red. If the red is the rise, wait, I had it going and I messed up. Hold up there. Thought it would just switch. Okay, so we got red. This is the hardest part. I don't know when I switch if it's. So I guess you hold a preset down. I thought you hold it down to. Okay, so now we're in green. Now we're in blue. Now we're in red. Okay, this is confusing. All right, so now we're so I've seen red, green, and blue. I don't know if there's another one, but they're saying if it's the same. So that's green. All right, so they're the same. So red and green should be the same. So we're here. I can't. I'm gonna have to work on that and figure out why. All right, now I'm gonna get this back up here to not blind you so much. Okay, there you go. So that's what I've learned so far. It's a process to learn anything. You'll figure out there's things that you miss along the way. I probably won't be worried about presets so much. I enjoy the process of actually moving the knobs and finding sounds that I think are cool. Um, and because there's not a lot of knobs and buttons on here, I mean, it's enough, but it's not like a massive overload of them. It's not hard to figure out which one you want to be on. So for me, that's kind of nice. Um, this particular pedal does come in other finishes. They did a specialty one that's like flowers. It's like purple. They did another one that is blue, and then this is the black one. I actually like the would have gotten the blue one, but I found this used, by the way. I did not buy this new and got it pretty cheap. So I would not buy it at full cost personally. That's just me, but lately I've been realizing how I'm just trying to be cheaper with regards to spending on gear, because either one, I don't keep it because I don't know if I like it. And it's not like I can try this stuff out generally before you commit to it. But buying it used, at least you get it at a nice, usually a pretty good discount rate. I won't talk about how much because not everybody will be able to find it that cheap. You just have to look around and figure out what works for you. But anyway, my last video, I struggled to get the volumes right. So I'm hoping with this one, the volumes sound good. You can hear this long. Yeah, so hopefully you can hear that. But anyway, that's it for this video. Just wanted to try it with the iPad and see how it works. And it sounds pretty good to me. All right, I'm out.